Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihi al-kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Brothers and sisters, if you can hear me, please confirm in the chat. Jazakallah khair. Okay. So today you are going to learn, inshallah, a lot of new topics. We'll see if we can finish the concepts by tomorrow. And then we will, inshallah, we will start with the textbook. Maybe tomorrow, maybe half of the time we will continue with the slides. And probably even tomorrow we can start with the textbook. Otherwise, if not, then it will be, inshallah, definitely from next Tuesday. We will go to chapter 10 from the textbook. So there is one letter, harf, that's coming in this chapter, lesson number 11, lesson number 10, which is Harfu Nafi ma. So there are several Harfu Nafi. Harfu Nafi means the harf of negation, to negate something. Okay, that's Harfu Nafi. So ma that you learned earlier, ma is used for question, right? So there are different harf. They are used, but they are different. They are different. Like lam also, there are several types of lam, and the type of lam that you used, that you have learned, was harfu jar. In the same way, ma is also used to negate. This is called harfu nafi. So, for example, you will know from let's say if someone asks a question, عندك سيارة? Okay, do you have a car? Someone asks a question, do you have a car? And suppose the person who is asked, he wants to say, no, I don't have a car. So no is la, I don't have a car. So in that case, he will say, la, ma indi sayyaratun, ma indi sayyaratun. This ma is harfu nafi. This is not the same ma that you learned in first chapter, the first lesson. Okay, that means what? Okay, here ma means to negate. So here it's coming in the form of don't. Okay, la ma indi sayyaratun. No, I don't have a car. Okay, it's very simple. So there are few examples mentioned using this harf in lesson number 10. Now today I'm going to talk about, mostly I'm going to talk about fi'l. Now fi'lun thulaathiyun, okay? Or in normally when I will be talking about this fi'lun thulaathiyun, I'll be just saying Fi'l Thulaathi, Fi'l Thulaathi. Huh? So what does it mean? Those fi'l or verbs that is based on 3 letters. Okay? Those fi'l that is based on 3 letters. So there are fi'l that is based on 4 letters also. They are very few. I'm not going to talk about them in this book number 1. But those fi'l that is based on 3 letter words. Okay? So the those are called Fi'l Thulaathi. Okay, those are called Fi'l Thulaathi. If you cannot remember these terms, terminology, that's okay. Those terms which will be repeated very often, that you can remember. Okay, like those terms you have already memorized, like mudaf, mudaf ilayh, jar majroor, naat manut. Okay, if you cannot remember these terms, it doesn't matter. Okay, now, so as I mentioned, Fi'l Thulaathi are based on 3-letter wazan. Wazan means pattern. Okay, so what is pattern? I think I explained to you earlier, but I'm going to talk about that today. Okay, I'm going to talk about pattern also today. Now, these patterns are represented by 3 letters. Now, the experts of grammar, Arabic grammar, they have fixed these letters with fa, ain, and lam. Fa, ain, and lam. Okay. Now, this is something like a kind of a pattern, and in place of these letters, any other letters can come. So, okay, you will know it very soon. So the letter fa is the first radical, the letter ain is the second radical, and letter lam is the third radical. So this is how is denoted by the scholars of Arabic language. Now, this fe, an, and lam is again, it also gives us fi'l, right? Fi'l also contains these 3 letters, fe, an, fa, ain, and lam. So that's why it's easy to remember. So these letters are denoted by fa, ain, and lam. Okay. Fa is always the first radical, ain is the second radical. You can remember it from the word fi'l. And lam is the third radical. Now let's say this is a fi'l. Kataba. Kataba means he wrote. Kataba, he wrote. Now, this is based on 3 letters. So as I mentioned, the first radical is fa. The second radical is ain. The third radical is lam. So what is the first radical here? What is the first radical here? The first radical here is kaf. Yes. The second radical is ta. The third radical is ba. So these radicals are called as, the first radical is called as fa kalima. The second radical is called as ain kalima. And the third radical is called as lam kalima. So now onwards, whenever we will be talking about fi'l, so you should know what is the ain kalima of that fi'l, what is the lam kalima of that fi'l, what is the fa kalima of that fi'l, because this is the basics of fi'l. Now you are going to use this very often as you will go into book 2 also. So you should know that if the fi'l is kataba, the fa kalima is kaf here. The ain kalima is ta here, because that's the second radical. And the lam kalima is ba here in kataba. Understood? And kataba means he wrote. Now, in English language, if I'm talking about fi'l or verb, what do I say? I say wrote. Just I say wrote. Now wrote, W-R-O-T-E. Okay, he wrote. That's what I will say, is there is an action in this. Fail always have an action. Now, who is writing it or who wrote? I have to supply an extra word with that. So I'll say, if it's a male, I'll say he wrote. Okay, but in English language, fail comes as a standalone without indicating who's doing the action, like who is doing the that fail. But in Arabic language, it is not like that. In Fi'l al-Madi, which means the past fail, past tense, by default, any fi'l, for example, kataba, it already includes the sense of he in it. It always includes the sense of he in it. Understood, brothers and sisters? This is not the case in English language. In English language, if I want to say sat, someone sat, S-A-T, sat. But in Arabic language, it will be he sat. That will be a fi'l. Okay? In English, I will say went. W-E-N-T, went means he went. In Arabic language, by default, the fi'l will mean he went. Okay? Remember this. So this is Fi'l Thulaathi. Now, fi'l are different types. You know, most of you, but I'm going to repeat it again. So, something that we are talking about past, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this course, I said that when there is a factor of time, then it is fail. Fail is always in a time, somewhere. So the moment I say, I will go, at the moment I say I will, so I'm talking about future. If I've said I have gone, so I'm talking about past. I am going, I'm talking about present. Okay? So in the same way, in Arabic language, also there are past, present, and future. So that is fi'l. So fi'lul madi means past. In English, we call it as past tense. Fi'lul madi means something we are talking about. Madi. Madi means past. Okay? Fi'lul mudari means present or future. Present or future. Now, same fi'l is used for present as well as for future. It's same. There is no differentiation. In English, it is not like that. We clearly distinguish. But in Arabic, you will know how it becomes mudari, how it becomes future, and how it becomes present. You will know once you'll be practicing fi'l. And mostly mudari we will not be doing in this book. Mudari we will be doing, inshallah, in book number 2. Okay? In this book, you'll be having few examples of fi'lul ma'di only. Fi'lul ma'di only. Okay? But you should know that, okay? Fi'lul mudari includes both present and future. Then there is something called fi'lul amr and fi'lul nahi. This is, like a command. Amr means do, or nahi means don't. So it's like order. Amr means like order. Okay, sit. If I say sit, if I'm telling someone to sit, it has an order. Even if I'm telling him normally, but it's like a command. Sit. That is fi'lul amr. And opposite to that is fi'lul nahi. So even this, we are not going to talk about this in this book. So mostly we will be dealing with fi'lul madi in book number 1. Okay. Now, fi'lul madi have following properties. Okay. The fa kalima always carry fatha. Remember this. It's so easy to remember. The fa kalima always carry fatha. Kataba. What is the fa kalima in kataba? Kaf is the fa kalima. It's carrying fatha. The ain kalima, it can take either fatha or it can take either dhamma or it can take kasra. The ain kalima varies. It's dynamic. You can remember with this. Ain kalima is dynamic. Fa kalima is always taking fatha. And lam kalima also takes fatha. So in Fi'l al-Madi, in Arabic language, fa kalima will take fatha, lam kalima will take fatha, but ain kalima is flexible. Ain kalima keeps on changing. Okay? Understood? So the more examples you will see of Fa'il, you will know that fa kalima will always have fatha, lam kalima will always have fatha, and ain kalima keeps on changing. These are few examples. Zahaba. This is za is the fa kalima. It is taking fatha. Ha is again the ain kalima. It is taking fatha. And ba is the lam kalima. It is taking fatha. So this fa and lam kalima will always take fatha. Sami'a. Zahaba means he went. Sami'a means he heard. Okay. Sami'a. So fa kalima is again taking fatha, lam kalima is taking fatha, but ain kalima is kasra. Because ain kalima keeps on changing. Mim is ain kalima here. Karuma. Again, fa kalima is fatha, lam kalima is fatha, but ain kalima has changed. And it here in this case, it is taking dhamma. Okay. Understood, brothers and sisters? Okay, let's see more examples. So we will put different things here. In fa kalima, I will put the, ha, and ba. In ain kalima ha, and in lam kalima ba. What product you'll get? You'll get zahaba. Zahaba. And as I mentioned, by default, fi'lul madi have the meaning of he hidden in it. Okay, have the meaning of he hidden in it. Means he went. In English, I will just say went. Okay, but there is a sense of he hidden here. He went. Okay. Then kharaja. Kharaja. So it will be he left. Okay, he left. Then jalasa. Now, if you see all these examples, fa kalima and lam kalima are all taking fatha, but till now, all these three examples is still having ain kalima with fatha only. But you'll see that soon you'll find more examples. Jalasa means he sat. Okay, he sat. So in the same thing, naswara. Naswara means he helped. Nasara, he helped. Sami'a, okay? Sami'a, he heard. He heard. Karuma, and he became noble. Karuma is from karam. He became noble. Okay? So these are few examples of fi'l. Fi'lul madi. Now, I'm going to talk about Jumla Fi'liyah today. I mentioned in the beginning of this course, there are two kinds of Jumla. Jumla Ismiyah and Jumla Fi'liyah. Now I'm going to talk about Jumla Fi'liyah. What is the general definition of Jumla Ismiyah? Jumla Ismiya starts with ism. Okay. Though there are exceptions, and we have seen so many exceptions. Sometimes Jumla is even starting with zarf. Sometimes even it is starting with harfu jar, which is what? Mutalliq bil khabar, right? But you understood the concept of Jumla Ismiya. In general, Jumla Ismiya starts with ism. Okay, it starts with ism. And Jumla Ismiya is not Jumla unless and until it has two things. Mubtada and khabar, either this or mubtada and mutaliq bil khabar, either this or mubtada and khabar and mutaliq bil khabar, all three of them. Otherwise it is not jumla. Only mubtada, it is not jumla. Okay, so that is jumla ismiya. Now jumla fi'liyah contains fi'l, which is again an action. So Jumla Fi'liyah is a Jumla that starts with fi'l. You can assume this, like Jumla Ismiya. So Jumla Fi'liyah is a Jumla, is a sentence that starts with fi'l. So definitely Jumla Fi'liyah have to have a fi'l. Then there is Faail also in Jumla Fi'liyah. In Jumla Fi'liyah there is Faail also. Faail means the doer of the action. Fa'il means the action, and fa'il means the doer of the action, the person who is doing the action. Let's take the example. Zahaba Bilalun. Zahaba Bilalun. Bilal went. In the normal English, we will translate it as, the meaning of that will be Bilal went. If I go with literal translation, I'll say went Bilal. But again, it is awkward to say that. So in a normal English, what I will say? Bilal went. Now, since it is a Jumla Fi'liyah, so it started with fi'l. It started with fi'l. Dhahaba means went. He went. It has a sense of he hidden in it. Okay. Now, Bilalun. So this is fi'l and this is fa'il. Who went? Who is doing the action? Bilal is doing the action. What is the action? Zahaba is the action. Fi'l is the Zahaba. And fa'il is Bilal. Okay? Clear? Now remember, this is the rule. Here I'm using the word always. Fa'il is always marfu. Fa'il is always marfu. The doer of the action is always marfu. And I explained to you earlier when I was teaching you about i'rab, the topic of i'rab. There are three kinds of i'rab. The statuses of ism have three statuses. The highest status is rafa. The second middle status is nasab. The third lowest status is jar. Okay. The ism which is in the status of rafa, it is called marfu. The ism that is in the status of nasab, it is called mansub. The ism that is in the status of jar, it is called majroor. Now, fa'il is always marfu. It is always in the highest status in the sentence. Remember that. That's why you see Bilalun. And how do you know it is marfu? Because its ending sound is un, u. So if the ending sound is un or u, that is in the status of rafa. Yes, understood? That is ending with dhamma, two dhamma or single dhamma. So that is in the status of rafa. So let's talk about fa'il. As I mentioned, fa'il is the doer of the fi'l. Fa'il means action, and fa'il is the doer of the fi'l. And fa'il always comes after fi'l. This is the rule. Always. I'm using the word always. Fa'il always comes after fi'l. Okay? If you see any ism coming before fi'l, then it is not fa'il. It is not fa'il for that fi'l. It is not fa'il for that fi'l. Okay? Remember this. So if I say Bilalun jalasa, no, that is not. Bilalun is not fa'il because it is coming before. But if I say jalasa Bilalun, Bilal sat, then because Bilal is coming after fail, then it is fa'il. So he is the doer of action. So he is the one who sat. Understood, brothers and sisters? This is very important. This is the rule that fa'il will always come after fail. Now, this is also compulsory rule for fa'il, that it is marfu'. Now there are two types of fa'il. Two types of fa'il. The fa'il that is hidden. In Arabic, we call damir mustatir. Damir mustatir. Okay? Or you can say al-damirul mustatir. Okay? Al-damirul mustatir. So, or you can just say when you are practicing, when we will be doing it frequently, we'll be saying, so you say fa'il is mustatir. Sometimes we'll even say fa'il is mustatir here. Mustatir means hidden. So the fa'il can be hidden also. How it is hidden? Let's say there is a sentence called zahaba. There is a fi'l zahaba. In zahaba, there is nothing written after zahaba. So automatically it has a sense of, it has a meaning hidden in it, which is he. It is that. Now he is hidden. What is he? Is it a first person? Is it a second person? Is it a third person? Is it al-ghaibu, which is third person? Is it mutakallim, which is the second person? Or is it mutakallim first person? Or is it the second person? What is it? So he is always the third person. So remember, he is hidden in that. So here there is no fa'il, but automatically in Arabic, the moment you say dhahaba, you know that it carries a meaning of he in it. So it is, he is hidden in the fa'il itself. This is called damir mustatir. Okay. Now there is a fa'il is written also. It is written in the sentence, which is visible in the sentence. And this is the example that I gave you before. Zahaba Bilalun. Okay, if you cannot remember these terminologies, you don't need to remember. Okay, all these are some extra information. Ismu zahirin means the ism that is visible, the fa'il that is visible. Okay, this is what it means. So you don't need to remember. I'm not taking these terminology. So same thing, you know, the moment you say, if I say zahaba and there is no fa'il after that, so I will say dhamir mustadir taqdiruhu huwa. You don't need to know that because it is pointing to third person, which means huwa. Okay. Yes, it's always masculine third person. That's right, Sister Khadija. That's absolutely right. It's always masculine third person, not feminine, masculine third person. Okay. Yes. So fa'il is either mustatir or it is present in the sentence. And when it is present in the sentence, it is coming after the fi'l. It is coming after the fi'l. Then Bilal went. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about a fi'l, the fi'l itself is a jumla. That's unique about Jumla Fi'liyah. In Jumla Ismiya, it is not Jumla unless and until Mubtada is there, and with Mubtada, at least Khabar have to be there, or at least Mutalliq bil Khabar have to be there. Otherwise, it is not Jumla. Right? But the unique thing about Jumla Fi'liyah is just Fa'il itself is a Jumla. For example, if I ask, Aina Yasirun, where is Yasir? Someone says, Kharaja. Kharaja means he left. I don't have to say, Kharaja Yasirun. I don't have to repeat his name. I will say just he left. Right? That's what in the normal language also we'll say, he left. Someone asks, where is Yasir? I will say, he left. So Kharaja itself completes the meaning. That's why it is Jumla. That's why it is Jumla. And a Jumla ismi, a Fi'liyah, should at least have Fa'il and Fa'il in it. Should at least have Fa'il and Fa'il in it. And in this case, this Fa'il itself is having the Fa'il inside it, which is Fa'il Mustatir. Which is Fa'il Mustatir. The Fa'il is hidden in it. That's why we can call this itself as a Jumla Fi'liyah. Okay? Clear, brothers and sisters? Then. Okay. So, Jumla Fi'liyah contains, I told you, Fi'l, which is an action, Fa'il, which is the doer of action, and there is something else, which is, I'm going to tell you one by one. So for example, Allama al-Ustadu. Allama al-Ustadu. Allama means taught, which is Fa'il. So what is Fa'il here? Allama is Fa'il. And al-Ustadu, it is coming after Fa'il. So it is Fa'il. The teacher. The teacher. You can even say Allama al-Mudarrisu. Okay? Allama al-Ustadu. So the Ustad taught the student. Sorry, actually the student is not there here. I should have segregated this. The sentence is the Ustad taught. This is a complete sentence. The Ustad taught. I have to modify this slide. The student should come afterwards. Okay. So Allama al-Ustadu means the Ustad taught. The teacher taught. So here Fa'il is Allama and Fa'il is Ustadu. Fa'il is Ustadu. Please ignore this, okay? I will just cancel this. Please ignore this, brothers and sisters. This is my mistake. Okay? Please ignore this. So now what happens? If I want to give further detail to the sentence, now that is further detail to the sentence is called Mafool. For example, if I say Allama al-Ustadu Taliba. Allama al-Ustadu Taliba. Now it means the teacher taught the student. Now it means the teacher taught the student. Allama al-Ustadu Taliba. Now you will say, why I'm writing a Taliba? Why not a Talibu? Why not a Talibi? Because it is more detail about the Jumla. Okay? It is further details. The sentence is completing here, but you want to give more information. The teacher taught. That is sufficient. Teacher is the doer, taught is the action. But the teacher taught The student is an extra information, is an extra detail. Now that detail is called maf'ul. That detail is called maf'ul, and maf'ul is mansoob. Maf'ul is mansoob. Remember this. For example, fa'il is always marfu', but maf'ul is in the second status. It is in the status of nasab. That is why at-taliba I'm writing it. The moment someone says allama al-ustadu taliba, immediately I know that ustad taught the student. Okay, ustad taught the student. If someone says allama al-ustad talibu, what it will totally change the meaning of the sentence. The meaning will become the student taught the teacher. So that is the importance of i'rab. That is the importance of i'rab. So when the fail is coming, and after fail we will look for an ism which is in the state of rafa. The moment we see the ism which is in the state of rafa, we know that that ism is the doer of that fi'il. We know that that ism is the doer of fi'il. And if we see an ism that is in the state of nasab, then we know that that is the detail of the, it is not the file, rather it is the detail. So that is maf'ul. Okay, that is maf'ul. Understood, brothers and sisters? Clear till now? Let's take more. I ate chocolate. I want to explain with English language. I ate chocolate. Now, I want your answers in the chat window as quickly as possible. What is fi'l here? What is fi'l here? Ate. Very good. What is fa'il here? I is the fa'il. And what is maf'ul here? Chocolate. Now, fa'il is marfu, remember that, and maf'ul is chocolate. Okay. Otherwise, I ate. This is fail and fa'il. But this is extra detail of in the sentence. This extra detail is always maf'ul. Okay. Now, maf'ul is mansoob. So chocolate will be mansoob. Ate is fail. I will be in the status of rafa. It will be marfu. I ate too much chocolate. Now you tell me. Fail, you know, fail is 8. That is true. File is I. Now, what is too much chocolate? That is also maf'ul. That means maf'ul will also include other things, like in English language, ism. In English language, we distinguish between nouns and adjectives and adverbs and other things, you know. But here, all those things comes under, it's under the heading of ism. So this itself becomes a maf'ul. This itself becomes a maf'ul. Now here again, Muhammad ate chocolate. So ate is again fi'il. Muhammad is fa'il, and chocolate is maf'ul. If I want to say Muhammad ate chocolate at home, what is this at home again? At home is what? Muhammad ate chocolate. This is again Mafool. Muhammad ate chocolate at home yesterday. What is this? Again yesterday. This is again Mafool. All extra information. Muhammad ate chocolate at home yesterday happily. What is this again? This is also Mafool. Okay. So all these will be in the status of Nasab. This will be in the status of Rafa. Okay, brothers and sisters. Okay. So Jumla Fi'liyah contains Fi'l, then it contains Faail, and it contains Maf'ul, okay, which is detail. And Fa'il is always Marfu, and Maf'ul is always Mansoob. Maf'ul is always Mansoob. Now I'm only saying Maf'ul. Yes, I will give. I'm going to give more examples of Arabic. Sister Sana, don't worry, inshallah. A lot of examples in Arabic will be coming. So inshallah, you will know it. Okay, so Maf'ul is Mansoob. So let's take this again. Basic example, Dhahaba Bilalun. This is Fi'l, this is Fa'il. And if I say there is no Maf'ul here, now there is something more in Jumla Ismiyah that is called Mutalliq bil Fi'l. Now, don't get scared. In Jumla Ismiyah, there was something called Mutalliq bil Khabar. Exactly similar to that is Mutalliq bil Fi'l. In Jumla Ismiyah, there was Mutalliq bil Khabar. What is Mutalliq bil Khabar? What is Mutalliq bil Khabar? A question to you. Mutalliq bil Khabar, not Mutalliq bil Fi'l. I'm talking about Mutalliq bil Khabar, which was in Jumla Ismiyah. Shibhu Jumla. Yes, that is the correct answer. Shibhu Jumla. And what is Shibhu Jumla? Jar Majroor and Zarf. The moment you say Mutalliq bil Khabar, it is either Jar Majroor or and Zarf. Jar Majroor or Zarf. Okay, that is Mutalliq bil Khabar. In Jumla Fi'liyah, Mutalliq bil Fi'l is only Jar Majroor. It is only Jar Majroor. Mutalliq bil Fi'l is only Jar Majroor. There is no Zarf. Understood, brothers and sisters? Because Zarf is already Mansoob and it is Maf'ul. No, Zarf is not Mutalliq bil Fi'l. Zarf is not Mutalliq bil Fi'l. Only Jar Majroor is Mutalliq bil Fi'l. So if I want to say Dhahaba Bilalun ila al-masjidi. So what is ila al-masjidi? What is ila al-masjidi? It is Jar Majroor. It is Mutalliq bil Fi'l. It is Mutalliq bil Fi'l. Is this clear? Can I go to the next slide? Okay. Yes, ask the question, sister. It should be related to topic only. Sister, here ila al-masjidi is maf'ul also. I don't want to say that to scare others. Here ila al-masjidi is maf'ul also. Why it is maf'ul? If I will say ila al-masjid is maf'ul, then I will say fi mahalli nasbin. في محل نصب. But now you go with me. Now you go with me. Just call it as متعلق بالفعل. What will be the i'rab of al-masjidi in the sentence? Okay, so if I'm saying it is mafool, so it is, I will say now it's i'rab is for a single word, right? Now when it is combination of words, I cannot say ila al-masjidi. Ila is a harfu jar and al-masjidi is, so for combined i'rab is difficult to find out from this. It's no way to find out here. So what in the Arabic language, you know, they found a nice escape door, I will say. So wherever they found they are trapped in such a situation, they will say fi mahalli rafin, fi mahalli nasbin, nasb, fi mahalli raf, fi mahalli nasab. That's what they say, the experts of grammars. In place of rafa, in place of nasab. Yes. Okay, so don't get confused. Now you say mutaliq bil fail. Then, okay. Now you say mutaliq bil fail. Understood, sister? Yes, sister Nahida. Al-Masjidi is in Majroor state. That is true. Yeah. Masjidi is in the Majroor state, but this whole combination is Jar Majroor. What I said, Jar Majroor, whenever in Jumla Fi'liyah comes, it is specific to Jumla Fi'liyah. When Jumla Fi'liyah, when Jar Majroor comes, then it is Mutaliq bil Fi'l. Okay? Clear? Okay, alhamdulillah. How about Zarf? Zarf will be Maf'ul. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll take examples more. أين حامد? This is a question. ذهب إلى المدير. It is similar example, but just for the sake of your exercise, I've taken this. Now you do the analysis. What is fail here? Zahaba, very good. File, file, mustatir, already someone answered, mashallah. Amina Qureshi, very good. Zahaba, Hua is hidden, yes, mashallah. File mustatir. And what is ilal mudiri? Yes, where is ilal mudiri? Jar majroor. Mutaliq bil fail. Well done. Mutaliq bil fail. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, whenever we talk about fail, we always look for fa'il. You know this now. In Arabic language, if there is action, there has to be a doer of action. Now, that doer of action could be hidden or it could be present, right? This is what I told you. The doer of action will be either hidden or it will be present in the sentence. Now, before I go further, give me half a minute. I will just take a pause, brothers and sisters. Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned that whenever we talk about fail, we always look for file. Now let's talk about the word zahaba. And let's see this zahaba with all the damair that we have learned. All the damair that we have learned. Damair's pronouns, okay? Okay. So let's look one by one. Hua. The moment I say zahaba, what is hidden in it? He went. And he is hidden in it. So that is mustatir. File is mustatir here. So the moment it comes to hua, he, the file is mustatir. This is the file. The file is mustatir. Brothers and sisters, is this clear? The moment when I want to say he went, if I want to say he went, the file is mustatir. Now I want to say they went. They means two male persons. Huma, two male persons. I want to say they went. Now here I will say zahaba. I will say zahaba. And how do I identify that? What is the file here? Alif is the file. The alif that I'm adding in front of it, that indicates it is we are talking about two persons going, two male persons going. Zahaba. That's it. This is not alif mamduda. This is not alif mamduda. Okay. So this is for dual. So the moment zahaba is written, you know that the file here is alif. It is indicated by alif. So zahaba. Or you can say the file is huma. You can say the moment you say zahaba, you say the file is huma, means they too. The file is huma, means they too. Now when it comes to hum, means they all. They all. So it is zahabu. And here all this file is not mustatir. It is not hidden. Here it was hidden. Now here we are showing the file. Again, it is coming to the end of the fail. It is showing the file. Alif is shown. Waw is shown. Now why we add alif with waw? Because this is the way it is written in Arabic language. When waw ends with sukoon, actually it is, these three letters are very strange letters in Arabic language. Alif, waw, and ya. So they are written in, they first of all, they interchange also between each other. Okay, you will know it very soon, how they replace each other sometimes. And when they come, when the waw comes in the form of sukoon, it always needs alif to stand in front of him. He cannot stand without alif support when it comes in the form of sukoon. So it is zahabu. The moment I say zahabu, so I know that they went, they all went. Okay. Now what is this? She went, zahabat. She went, zahabat. What is the file here? Here file is alif. Here file is indicated by waw. And here I'm writing the file is again mustatir. So what is this star doing here? What is this star doing here? This is called tau tanif, which is, you can say, feminine ta. Feminine ta. With this ta, it indicates that it is indicate she. When there is no this ta, then it is just zahaba, means it is indicating he. Okay. When you add to zahaba, the masculine, the default, you just add ta sukun, it becomes she. Okay. Zahabata. So again, it is like zahaba here, but again, we are putting tau tanis here to indicate two females. To indicate two females. Clear? Now, when it comes to hunna, everything changes. This is standard with all Fi'l Madi. Remember, brothers and sisters, even the old students, this is standard with all Fi'l Madi. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma. Till here, things are difficult. Zahaba, zahaba, zahabu, zahabat, zahabata. After that, things are very simple. Why? Because the last letter of the fi'l will always take sukun. The last letter of the fi'l will always take sukun. Zahab. And you just add, with hunna, you just say na. Zahabna. Means they all went. They all went. Understood this, brothers and sisters? Now, for anta, they all feminine. Yes. For anta, again, zahabta. The last lam kalima takes sukun, and you just add zahabta. Anta, zahabta. Then antuma, zahabtuma. Antum, zahabtum. Anti, zahabti. Antuma, zahabtuma. Antunna, zahabtunna. Okay. Ana, zahabtu. Nahnu, zahabna. Here you have to remember, when it is first person, zahabtu. So there is a very small difference between zahabta and zahabtu. Many people, they get confused between this. Zahabta, remember that anta, zahabta. But when it comes to ana, it is zahabtu. And nahnu, it is zahabna. Understood, brothers and sisters? Okay. So these are all the combinations of Fa'il and Fa'il. These are all the combinations of the Fa'il and Fa'il. Once again, read it with me. Okay. Huwa dhahaba, huma dhahaba, hum dhahabu, hiya dhahabat, huma dhahabata, hunna dhahabna, anta dhahabta, antuma dhahabtuma, antum dhahabtum, anti dhahabti, antuma dhahabtuma, antunna dhahabtunna, ana dhahabtu, nahnu dhahabna. Okay, am I very fast? Okay, I will go slow. Once more, repeat with me. Huwa dhahaba, huma dhahaba, hum dhahabu, hiya dhahabat, huma dhahabata, hunna dhahabna, anta dhahabta, antuma dhahabtuma, antum dhahabtum, anti dhahabti, antuma dhahabtuma, antunna dhahabtunna, ana dhahabtu, nahnu dhahabna. Okay, brothers and sisters, you have to memorize this. You have to learn the logic of remembering this. I have already mentioned the logic to you. It is very simple. For anta, you are just putting ta here. Anything after ta will be joined to the fi'l. Antuma, tuma is joined here. Antum, tum is joined here. Anti, ti is joined here. Antuma, again, tuma is joined here. Antunna, tunna is joined here. It's very simple. And only difference is ana, zahabtu, nahnu, zahabna. And the difference is here. Zahaba, zahaba, zahabu, zahabat, zahabata. And this, from here, everything changes. The lam kalima takes sukun. Zahabna, zahabta, zahabtuma, zahabtum, zahabti, zahabtuma, zahabtunna, zahabtu, zahabna. Okay? So you need to practice this before tomorrow's class. It's very important because tomorrow we are going to take fail file combinations. So immediately you should know the meaning. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Okay? So I will stop here today. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.